Season 2 at this moment in time seems a lifetime away, but one storyline that has been teased for Season 2 of Power Book 2 Ghost is Jabari's computer. The information inside could cause an issue, and the actor who plays Jabari has teased this storyline. So who could find his computer? In this video I'm diving deep into the storyline with Tariq and all the information Jabari has, who could find it and what could happen next. So welcome back to MovieBot. Let's talk about Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2.
Sacrificing your greatest treasure without thinking about the consequences.
So I hope you're all doing great, and welcome to another storyline breakdown for Season 2 of Power Book 2 Ghost. And I wasn't actually planning on doing another Power video because I was going to start my Snowfall breakdowns, but the actor who plays Jabari, Justin McManus, has teased a storyline about his computer for Season 2. But first, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, and you want everything Power Universe related from news and reviews and breakdowns and episode breakdowns, then remember to smash the subscribe button. But let's dive deep into what Justin McManus said about Season 2, because he did tease a particular storyline involving his story, the information that he'd been carrying on his laptop, and what he exactly said was, Season 2, I can't say nothing, but I will say this: whoever finds Jabari's computer is going to have a lot of information. So those were the words of the actor who plays Jabari on an Instagram live Q&A, and this is something I've touched on in a few of my videos over the last month or so after the season finale, because we had a whole storyline of Jabari following Tariq, writing his book on him. His book was centered around Tariq's story. In episode 8 we saw him researching the St Patrick family. He was reading into Raina's death and Angela Valdez's death, and he was after the ending of the storyline, and his agent said that he needs to know how it ends. Did the kid die? Did he go to jail? So we don't actually know if Jabari managed to finish the story. I don't think he did, because he wouldn't have asked Tariq how it ends and who was the one to kill Bars at Stansfield. So I do think the storyline is unfinished, but what he's written is still dangerous because it's all on Tariq. It's Tariq's story, and I'm going to come to who could find his computer in just a moment, so make sure you stick around till the end of the video. But what else is on his computer that we don't know, or what we know about? He was digging deep into the Tarder family, really deep, because he knew about Drew when he followed Tariq, which led him to Drew, and he even questioned whether it was him who was the one who killed Bars at Stansfield. And that's when Kane popped out from behind the tree to shoot him. He was connecting the dots before Tariq killed him, and I think he knew that Zeke was the one that was smashing Carrie in the end as well, because we saw him, he was listening in on the conversation, so he actually knew more than we first thought. But could he have told the detective anything before he was killed? Could he have sent an email before he was killed? And what information did he exactly leave on his computer apart from the novel, because we know he was holding out on giving any information to Detective Santana until the storyline was finished for him. But one thing I do think will play a major role is the information about the Tarders, because he was digging deep, and so was Carrie, and I'm going to come to her in just a moment when I talk about who could find his computer. But Jabari's death itself, that's something else that we need to see the aftermath of. The campus is already hot and crawling with cops because of the death of Bars, and now there's going to be all of the sudden the disappearance of Jabari, because I'm sure off screen Tariq would have dealt with his body or used Ramirez's gun to make it look like Ramirez may have killed Jabari, but Carrie definitely won't buy into that story. She will definitely think that the Tarders are involved, and maybe even Tariq St Patrick as well. How Carrie deals with the disappearance of the death of Jabari will be interesting, because she's now deep into this relationship with Zeke. Whether she likes it or not, she's in way too deep with the Tarders, and I don't think there's a way out now. The moment she got involved with Zeke, which started off just as sex, I do think she's developed feelings for him now, because that's how it all starts. It's just sex at first before you start developing feelings, and before you know it, you're in way too deep. You can't get out of this position where I think Carrie finds herself in now, especially after the visit from Monet. And Carrie's storyline is one we have to keep an eye on in Season 2, especially with Carrie's history as a prosecutor, which I'm going to touch on a bit later on in the video, but I went into it in a lot more detail in this video where I dive deep into Carrie's storyline and what to expect from her in Season 2. So I will link this video down below for those who may not have seen it. But let's talk about who could find Jabari's computer, because for me one person springs to mind, and that's Professor Milgram. Carrie Milgram, this is who I think could find Jabari's computer, or even take his computer when she realizes that he's disappeared or killed, because Jabari was the other person who was helping with the investigation at Stansfield. She knows that he could have information on his computer that could potentially put Zeke and the Tarders at risk. So I think as soon as she finds out, she will make sure that she disposes of Jabari's computer. But let's link it back to what Justin McManus, the character of Jabari, said about his computer, because he mentioned whoever finds Jabari's computer is going to have a lot of information, and in the world of power, in the Power universe, if you know way too much information or know something that you shouldn't, then your days are really numbered. Of course, Jabari's days were always numbered because he was sticking his nose in where it didn't belong, into Tariq's business, to Tada's, and he was this jealous ex-boyfriend of Carrie who kept keeping tabs on her love life and just couldn't let her go. But the ultimate downfall was he just knew way too much information. The minute he mentioned Drew to Harder, Kane came from behind the tree and shot him. Courtney Karen talks about people earning their death. She spoke about Holly earning her death. I gave my own example about how I thought Dre earned his death, but Jabari certainly earned his death by following Tariq, writing about Tariq's story, learning about Drew and the Tarders, and Tariq said before he killed him that he knew way too much information, so he had to deal with him, and this is what Tariq did.
I always do what I gotta do. It always comes down to me, my family, and a gun.
It always comes down to me, my family, and a gun. The moment Tariq probably realized just what he is, what he needs to do, and that he is a monster. And that brings us on nicely to talk about Tariq and Carrie, because Carrie doesn't actually know about Tariq's involvement in any of this as of yet. But I do think she may just realize how involved Tariq is, because we saw her looking into the Tarders, and what the key is here is, if Carrie is the one who finds Jabari's computer, she may find the information on Tariq that she didn't know about. She'll come across the novel that Jabari was writing about, and she'll know it's based on a true story, because Jabari wrote his first novel about Carrie and their relationship, and Carrie isn't stupid. She's a canonical studies, a former prosecutor, and I do think if she's the one to find the computer, then she will put 2 and 2 together and find out that the novel is about Tariq, and as she gets even deeper into something, she'll later regret, I'm sure. So the dynamics between Tariq, Carrie, and the whole situation with Jabari's computer, if Carrie is the one to find it, is going to be interesting going into season 2, but let's not forget about Zeke. Zeke is seriously freaking out at this moment in time. He looks bugged out when he went to go visit Carrie because the whole basketball team got pulled in when Ev dropped Drew's name into the conversation. He started bugging out. He wanted to tell Monet and his family what was happening, but Carrie said she'll fix it, and to make sure nothing gets to Detective Santana. This is what I think she's already done by throwing the detective off the scent of the Tarders by emailing him, which is what we saw in the season finale if you pause the frame just at this moment. Now I do think if Carrie was the one to find out the information on Jabari's computer, it would just be building up to a downfall in my opinion, and her fate will only go one way from here. But I do hope I'm wrong. I hope we do see her character take this twist and take the dark turn and help the Tarders, because they are going to need someone who now knows the law, because they no longer have Ramirez. I think we could even find ourselves with a situation where Carrie could leave Stansfield as a teacher, go into her former career as a prosecutor, because she may not be able to handle the death of Jabari, or she just may want to distance herself from the heat, Zeke, and everything happening at Stansfield. So her former career as a prosecutor is really one to keep an eye on in season 2, as well as the information on Jabari's computer. So let me know what you guys think. Will Carrie be the one to find Jabari's computer and find out the information on there, and what could she do with it? I think her former career as a prosecutor is going to play a major role in season 2, but drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see everything Power Universe related, then remember to smash the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.